Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fruitful Trees. And this is one of my properties here with all these mangoes in the background. Many different varieties, and many of them are just starting to flower. But as you see here, it's pretty close together, the trees. And that's what this video is about today, how close the trees are that I planted. And I don't want you to make the same, I don't want to say call it a mistake, because we'll see how it turns out. But how close we should plant trees and not. I see people and got excited when I got this yard here about people planting trees close together. There's Richard Campbell and some other people online talk about high density gardening and so on. But the more people I'm going out to interview and talk about these mango trees, they're saying if they're too close, eventually it's going to create a problem. So, and I'm seeing that more and more. So I might have planted these too close. Now, you're really not going to know until the time comes when they're getting too close. And then the only solution is going to be at that point is you're going to have to take something out. So in the back of my mind, and it started to creep to the front of my mind, is which mangoes I'm eventually going to have to take out. And you don't know because you just don't know how they're going to grow and so on. But if I had to do it over again, I would have probably, first of all, I wouldn't have planted as many mango trees because now I'm discovering all these other varieties of fruits and I don't have room for everything. But I'm very pleased with the varieties of mangoes that I do currently have. But I'm going to, let them grow. I'm going to taste them. I'm going to see their growing habits. I'm going to see their disease resistance. I'm going to research these trees. And like Alex at Tropical Acres Farms, he doesn't mind growing close together, knowing that in the future he might have to take some out. And that's not a bad strategy. Yes, you're losing a tree, but you might get 3 or 4 years of fruit that you wouldn't have had if you never had the tree. So it's not necessarily a bad idea to grow close together and then take one out in the future if you have to. And maybe you could sell that tree or plant it somewhere else or give somebody with it. But it's still better to have more trees than not, more fruit than not at that point. So, I'm going to see the growing habits because each environment is different in the way things grow. And the way I planted here, I have everything 10 by 10. And so that's what I'm hearing is going to be too close. That's what I'm hearing, except for some dwarf trees, which I don't have. This one here, this is a buttercream, and I moved this from my other yard. And again, some mangoes will like, some mangoes might not taste as well. I know there's some that I definitely would want to keep. And I also know that if you're growing mangoes close together and they're closed in on both sides, that could be a problem. However, if you grow mango trees close together, but there's no other mango trees on the other side, you can get away with that. Because even though you might miss some in the middle, on the ends, they'll grow out that way. So that you can get away with. So it's something you see here, I did here. So I have a mango tree there, which is a Kathy. Then I have, that's a white Puri over there. Then over there I have a Giselle mango. And then over here I have a Super Alfonso mango. So they're 10 feet apart. 1, 2, 3. So now, when all these trees are grown up, it would make sense that if I have to take out one, it's going to be the one in the middle. Well, I don't want to take out any, so hopefully I'll figure it out. But if it does work where I can keep them, I will. But if it doesn't work, maybe if I love that mango more and it's growing better and it's proven to have less disease, maybe I could take out the ones, or at least one of the ones on the end and let these grow to the side. So these are things that I just think about and go on in my mind, and we'll see what happens. And so here's another situation where I put this mango tree here. This is a graft. This was my first grafted tree. This is I grafted a sweet tart onto I think it was a lemon meringue rootstock. It might have been a cherry rootstock. It's growing, and it was an experiment. And I put it here, not knowing how it's going to be, but it's also close to these hedges up here. So this one I'm not as concerned about because I could always take out those hedges if I have to. Now here, this one Leaf gave to me recently. This is a Pickering. You can see a little cold damage on there, but it's growing back. It was a transplant, and it's doing really well. Thank you, Leaf, so much. And it's one of my favorite mangoes. Now this is a more dwarf mango, so I can get away with it. But not too far from a distance, right behind it or next to it, I have this mango tree here, which is a Venus. And then I have here, which is an Excalibur. Now, both of these trees are pretty big trees. And when I look at the distance they are from the pickering, even though the pickering's small, I know it's going to eventually become an issue. So these trees or this whole row is something I'm looking at I might have to get rid of one day. One day. I'm still going to get the fruit of them for a couple of years before that happens. And again, I could decide which fruits I like better or don't like better. This Venus I hear is very prone to bacterial black spot disease. So this might be one to go. And you know, we'll see how things grow here. I recently put one of my favorite mangoes that I tasted last year, a fruit punch over here. That's not that one that I want to get rid of. And I got a good amount of space on that side. But on this side, I don't. I think this is a gram tree. And it's pretty close to that fruit punch. So from what I remember tasting, I like the gram, but I love the fruit punch. Eventually, one of these might have to go. But again, I'll get a couple of years where I'll be able to keep them both. So I'm not too concerned because either way I'm going to end up with mangoes. And but you know, a couple of people told me now that you got all these in, you're going to start trying to figure out which ones to take out. And we'll see. We'll see. But I'm excited. Here's another one. This one is not too close to any other one. This is a cotton candy. So I planted it when I was excited about getting these things and getting them in the ground. And that one here is a fruit cocktail. So, and they're not that close together. And this cotton candy, there's nothing on this side of it because this side was a drain field. So I didn't plant any one on this side of it. And I planted that a good amount away from the drain field. And so that'll grow and that'll grow up all over here and everything else. It should be okay. However, the cotton candy mango is, I'm starting to find out, is very prone to, or at least somewhat prone to bacterial black spot. And also, you know, it might, I don't want to call it an alternate bearer, but it's not always fruiting the most productive tree from what I'm hearing. Now, if you're watching this, don't get rid of your cotton candy tree or not get one for that reason. It's a delicious tasting fruit, but it's not proven yet. And, you know, so there's several different things you could do. Since it's in a good spot, and I don't like, if the mango is an issue, I can always graft on top of it a different variety. So all these other varieties, if I have to move a variety from a spot because it didn't fit, but I really like that mango, and this one is questionable, I could take the grafts from that one that I already have and just put it on this tree. So there's a solution. No problems, only solutions, right? But another thing I could do is, since this is a prime spot, now I want to get a mamey tree and I want to get another avocado put in here. This would be great for those. So that's what I might end up doing. But we'll see. We'll see. I still got years to make that decision. And in the meantime, you know, I'm going to go ahead. I want to get a particular variety of a mamey. I also want to get a particular variety of an avocado. In the meantime, I'm going to buy a 3-gallon or a 1-gallon mamey and avocado tree that they both take a long time to fruit. But I'm not going to wait until the time comes. I'll get it now and start growing them in a pot. So if I do have a spot that opens up that I want to put that in, it'll already be nice and grown and I'll be able to put it in. So that's what I'm going to do. And same thing here with the fruit cocktail. I haven't even tasted this one. I heard great things about it. The word is still out of how good this does with disease and so on. I could always graft something on top of it. I might end up loving it and keeping it here, or it could potentially be another spot for another tree. So, you know, I think to get as many things in the ground as quickly as possible is a wise idea. And you could always adjust and not necessarily move trees around, but you can graft trees. And if you have to take them out, mangoes actually transplant pretty well. That's why that pickering tree that I have back there, that was maybe 5 years old or so and fruiting several years already. But we moved it because Leaf was getting rid of it, and he said we can move it. Here's another one I got as I believe this was a 1-gallon, and I just tasted this tree and I loved it. This is a juicy peach. Absolutely loved it. So I ended up putting the ground right here, and I got that there. Now every yard's a different situation. This yard, I want to leave a path open to get to my backyard with a vehicle if I need to. So I actually took out a mango. I moved my café over there. And I put a banana here because the banana is easy to get rid of if I need the space to get through the trees in the future. Now, this is a coconut cream mango. I hear mixed reports about this. We all know it tastes amazing, absolutely amazing if you get it truly ripe. But I hear mixed reports about how well it produces compared to other mangoes. Again, it's a prime spot. I could wait a couple of years and see how it does and decide if I want to keep it or top work it to something else, or even remove it and put something else here. So these are options we have when we're doing this. It would be great if everything we grow turned out great, but the reality, that's not necessarily the case. And then I'll show you another situation I have here. And these are smaller trees. I'll show you my other yard with another situation that I'm going to have a problem eventually. But so here, I just put this in recently. I had another different type of tree here that didn't do well, so I put this in here. This is a little gem, which I had back there, but I actually got rid of. And then I did a video with Alex, and he showed me what a great late variety this is, so I had to get that back in there. So that's there. However, not too far behind here is a Sessi Love, and this is a Namduk Mai. I'm not going to have room for all of these trees. However, the good news is there's nothing blocking that little gem from going that way, and there's nothing blocking this Sessi Love from going that way. So they might actually work there. I did an interview with a fellow who had 5 trees in one hole, and yeah, the middle part wasn't full enough, but all the trees grew great just out of there. Now, Namduk Mai is a great popular mango, but compared to the other mangoes, it's not the first choice for mangoes in terms of everything. It's so popular, and at one point was one of the most popular ones, but now not as much so. So this might be one that if I have to remove one day, this might be a candidate, but we'll see. And then over here I have an 015. It shouldn't be too far. Well, it's kind of close to the little gem, so we'll see how that goes. Here I have an orange essence. Now here I took a break from the mangoes for a second, and I have this is a butterscotch sapodilla. I'm excited about that. And then here, well, let's go over here. So now this is a pina colada, and as excited as I am about these and as good as these taste, I'm hearing it's more of a collector's mango. They grow pretty small, and they're more for collectors. They're not really the popular variety amongst a lot of people. The name sounds amazing. So I hear the pina colada and the coconut cream and the M4. They all have a coconut flavor or pina colada flavor, so on. So I might have to make a decision which ones I want, which ones I don't. Then I have here a dot mango, and this one looks like it's got a good spot and good enough room. And yeah, so then we come down the line, and here was the Kathy that I moved from over there, and the white Paris, and then the Giselle, and then the super Alfonso. And so that's just what's growing on here, just some of the many different mangoes. I'll show you one thing here, and then I'm going to show you something in my other yard that I'm definitely going to have to get rid of a tree. So I'm top working that tree now to another location. But here I come in this corner. So this spot here was pretty open, and one of the trees I got was an ST Maui, and I was told that it's absolutely a big tree, and I got a nice spot for it right here. I'm not going to let them get that big where they're up in the wires, and I don't think I have to worry about that, but I got a nice spot for that here. And then over there I got a Kesar, which I like that. I like Kesar so much I got actually 2 of them. We'll see. And here's a Carla, and over there is an ice cream. So we're doing it best. Here's my neighbor's trees, and they're coming over in my yard. This is a Namduk Mai tree. Another reason why I might not need mine over there, because there's one here. And that's a white Zapote. It's coming over here. So let me go in my other yard and show you a tree that I'm definitely going to have to get rid of in the future and make a decision on. And stay tuned. Okay, so in this property here, I have a lemon zest tree that somebody gave me and I put here. It's growing really nice, and it has a lot of room to grow here. We'll have a lot of space here. And here I have a pineapple pleasure, which is in the corner. And here I have a sweet tart. So they're very close together. They're only 8 feet apart. So the wise thing that I'm going to eventually have to do one day is I'm going to have to get rid of this pineapple pleasure And that should give more than enough room for this sweet tart and this lemon zest to grow. I don't want to get rid of pineapple pleasure, but I already top worked it to another tree. And I'm going to continue to top work for another tree. So hopefully I'll get a few mangoes out of this tree and get to taste it before I'll have to move it. But this is one I'm definitely going to have to move for the future. And I'm okay with it, because on the other side of that fence over there is an avocado that will also come here a little and take this space. Other than that, I think everything's okay in this yard. I have so the sweet tart's there, and then I have a sugar loaf here. So this coconut I had cut down, and eventually I'll cut this out. But the sugar loaf is growing right here. It should be more than enough space there, but as I was saying earlier, there's nothing here, so it should go over and cover that just fine. I do have a cac mango that this is another situation where I planted them too tight, but it'll work out. This is a cac mango. I'm just waiting to taste that banana before I cut it down, so it'll have all this area, but there's a banana in between there that I'm going to have to cut out. But this jackfruit tree is pretty close to the cac tree. But if I get rid of these bananas, they should have more than enough room to grow. And I just got to keep an eye on this jackfruit tree, making sure it doesn't get too close. Other than that, things are looking good here. I'm starting to grow some trees in pots, as I said, just to have. So when I do decide to move a tree or grow a new tree, it'll be able to take care of that situation. So I wanted to make this video to just maybe, for those of you that are enthusiasts to grow different fruit trees, grow different varieties, and just consider how far you're planting those. And wow, I'm just looking now. This is amazing. Now, let me tell you this about the pineapple pleasure, because I'm just looking now, and look, there's a whole panicle of pineapple pleasure, and there's a whole bunch of bees pollinating, and that's wonderful. I just saw that this moment. However, so let me tell you, this lemon zest is highly disease prone. So I might end up having to top work this and put something else on it. Maybe I could put the pineapple pleasure right on this. But my neighbor has one that's just always doing wonderful, so it doesn't get disease. And the sweet tart, you know, it's nice, but I could always try to move it if I have to or something. But that is exciting. I'm getting some, we just had some rain, and I'm getting, wow, that's great. If I could get some of those, that's wonderful. I hear pineapple pleasure does well for some people, but some people doesn't do well at all. So we'll see. And there's a lot of it is a waiting game to see what happens. All right, put your comments and questions below, and keep growing, everybody.